What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today we're going to look at the Arizona State spread playbook in College Football 25. The playoffs are here. Arizona State, first year in the Big 12, won the conference. Kenny Dillingham. This is his offense. He has been an offensive coordinator for several years. He's bounced around from different places. His most recent stop was in Oregon for a year. Then he used that to get the Arizona State job, and now he's in his second year there, and again, they won the Big 12 championship. So I thought it'd be fun to check out their playbook, see what they like to do. So we're going to go over some formations and concepts and play types and personnel, and hopefully by the end of the video, you have a good idea of what this playbook is all about. So let's start off with the formations. Now, this is considered a spread playbook, and like I said, he came from Oregon, so expect this playbook to be pretty close to that one, but it has its own little wrinkles. But let's start off with the formations. We got a bunch of gun, as you would expect. I want to start off with some pistol, though. This has a handful of pistol formations, starting off with pistol ace. We got 12 plays in here. This is just a 12 personnel set. Y off trips, that's 11 personnel with 18 plays. And then you got pistol bunch, 12 plays there. That is an 11 personnel set. So when you go to ace, it's got some basic stuff in here, nothing too crazy. Run, play action, just basic concepts, nothing too out of the ordinary. You go to Y off trips, it's kind of the same thing. Some stretch and curls, basic option. You got some reverse, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. This one's got 18 plays, so I guess if you want to do any pistol, you probably want to start here because it has so much to choose from with flood, screen, and stick. Things of that nature. But again, nothing too outlandish. And then you go into bunch. If you need a little compressed set, you have some of that with spacing and more PA boot, more play action. This playbook, I'll go ahead and tell you, has a lot of play action. But again, it's just got basic pistol things, nothing too crazy. So if you need a little bit of pistol, you have more than enough right here. Now, I want to go to Wildcat. Now, this is probably what it's known for. This one, Northwestern, and I forgot what the other one was, has more Wildcat plays and formations than any other playbook in the entire game. You get a grand total of 3, but we got unbalanced, we got jumbo Z weak, and we got U off trip. Then we go to jumbo Z weak, and this is your typical Wildcat stuff. As we all know, it's just basically running with the halfback. I know you can use some like sub packages to get somebody else in there, but you got old Scatterboo right there. You can do some serious damage with Wildcat, especially if you need to do like 3rd and 4th and short type things, or if you just need to mix things up, you definitely can do that with some Wildcat. Really cool stuff. Again, it's got 3 different formations, so let's look at the other 2. You go over to U off trips. This is 12 per, well, I'm not going to say personnel groupings when it comes to Wildcat. It gets a little weird there, but you got some DIY reverses and whatnot, and you get in some power extra. I love power when it comes to Wildcat. I'll just go ahead and run something random here. Just getting that extra dude off to the edge would be nice. Again, it just helps if you've got some decent blocking there. But again, just pick up whatever yards you can and then get up the field and, do the best you can with it. But if you need plenty of Wildcat, this is a great playbook to start with. Again, you got a total of 3 formations, and each one has about 6 plays in each one. Here we got a little pre-snap motion, our first of the day. We got some jet sweep play action off of that. We got power built into that, so that's like ultimate power. We got everybody and their brother pulling for your halfback here. Again, everybody is on that side as well. You just get over here. I mean, just absolute... Everybody go to one side and just block for me. That's what that play is all about. Really cool stuff right there. So again, you got 3 Wildcat formation. We also got an I formation. It's eye tight. So if you need to get, 3rd, 4th, and short, goal line type situation, you just don't want to deal with goal line, you can use some of this. It's got a flea flicker. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, just depend on the defense. But you got a lead, basic play action, blast, you got some goal line stuff, Z slant, more play action, and just basic running, just about what you would expect out of a bigger set like this. But you got 15 plays, that's actually a good number. So I like it, it's very situational. Wildcat's good for its own situation, same with I form tight. Then you get into your more regular stuff with pistol. But now let's talk about the shotgun. This is where the bulk of the playbook is at. Let's start off with deuce close. This is a 12 personnel look with 15 plays. Then you got wing, flex, offset, another 12 personnel formation. Then we get into doubles Y off week, our first 11 personnel set with 18 plays. Then you get the doubles flex, Y off trips, trio offset week, Bunch open, that's still 11 personnel. Notice your tight end number 7, he's still out there. Then we get into tight open, again 7, your tight end, he's still out there. Then we get the spread double flex. Guess what? More 11 personnel. That one's got 21 plays in it. And then you got bunch offset, the tight end, again, he's still out there. Then we get into our first 10 personnel look, and that's trips halfback week. So I'm going to back out of here, go back to that. Trips halfback week, and then we get trio 4 wide receiver strong, 18 plays there. So you got 2 10 personnel looks, and then we get empty trio back to that 11 personnel where your halfback and tight end still out on the field. But we got another empty formation, that is bunch quad. So you notice it's just, we're really putting stress on the defense, moving all of our skill players to one side of the ball or the other. I really like that. So just notice there's a lot of just oddball formations, even though you got some 2 and 3 by 1 sets. Pretty typical, but again, you got plenty of bunches and compress sets, and then more bunch, and then more trips and bunch and trips and compress. Kind of get the theme there. So let's go over back to the front of this, and let's look at some pre-snap motion. I always like to look for that. These are good luck drive starters and base plays to go off with. So let's just start off with deuce close. I don't think this has any pre-snap motion. You got a wing flex offset. I don't think this does. Yeah, it does. We got to get some halfback exit motion. It's a jailbreak screen. We got a wide lead read option. PA slide built on top of that. Then we get into the doubles Y off week. I think we got some Z motion in this one, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's double flex. They both look similar. There it is. Yes. So you got mesh spot and flanker drive and Z spot. I love mesh. I'm a big air raid guy. It just makes a lot of sense to me. But again, if you need a little pre-snap motion, a little window dressing into your air raid, you can do some of that right here. Wide open to that drag route, going to pick up some easy yards there. So again, if you need a little window dressing, you got some of that with your Z receiver, the one on the far right. So go back here, keep on going. I think that is it for that formation. Y off trips, do we have any here? We do. We have some tight end motion, an inside zone split, a play action on top of that, and a read option on top of that. You go to trio offset week. I don't think we have any here. Most of the time when you come to these true trip sets out of 11 personnel, you're not going to see a whole lot of pre-snap motion. Don't have any in bunch open. I don't think we got any in tight open either. Spread double flex. We have our first halfback. I guess it's more halfback exit motion. You got a wide receiver mid-screen. We got a shallow, and you got mesh on top of that. So that's a nice little combination of plays there. Keep on going. I think that's it for this formation. Bunch open offset. I don't think we got any here. And again, when you get to more of the true spread set, you're not going to find as much pre-snap motion. I don't see any here, but you notice we got plenty of draws and screens, and we'll get to that in the concept section. Trio 4 wide receiver strong. I don't think we got any here. It could have been, I think it's the next one up. Empty trio. We got a jet touch pass. And we also have another one. It's more Z motion from your Z receiver. Guess what? It's more mesh. So a big mesh playbook. I will go ahead and tell you now. Empty bunch quads. We only got 6 plays, and there is no pre-snap motion. So you got enough motion if that is your thing. Now, I want to go over to personnel before we head into the concept side of things. So the bulk of the playbook is 11 personnel, as you would expect. We got 23 personnel, that's just your goal line. 12 personnel, you got deuce close out of the gun, along with wing flex offset and pistol ace. Those are your 3 2 tight end looks. Plenty of wildcat. Again, there's more wildcat in here than just about anywhere else. Again, outside of like Northwestern and like maybe another one. You go to 32 personnel, that's your QB kneel. 22 personnel, that's your I-form tight. And then 21, that's just your clock. Then you got a little bit of your 4 wide looks, your trips, halfback week, and trio 4 wide receiver strong. Again, if you like the trips looks. So there's enough variety here. Enough for me at least. So let's go over to concepts and look at the play counts. This kind of gives you an idea what you have in each one with runs and medium passes and deep passes. This one is not as big of a playbook as like the Oregon one. It's a little bit less, but let's start off with the runs. Starting off, you got 6 counters. If you're going to have that many counters, you'll probably have some more powers built into that. But you got 20 inside zones. This is where your running game starts. Okay, you got to keep that in mind with the inside zone, especially for this playbook. We got 4 ISOs. We got 7 powers. So that many power with the counter, they all just kind of blend in together. You got 10 draws. That's a good high number if you like the draw game. And I like the QB draw. I'm going to go ahead and go like out of empty here. Let's go up against dime. So spreading everybody out. If your quarterback can handle the situation, you can try to get upfield. Hopefully your guys can block for you, of course. But again, plenty of draw to be had here. And I think draws work pretty well in this game. So you got 7 outside zones. That's a decent high number, but it's a higher because you got a little bit more pistol than usual in this playbook. You got 2 sweeps. I like the little tosses out of the gun. Those are kind of unique. You don't see them too often. I don't know. They're kind of flooding on the left side. Maybe I can get this one off okay. And going to pick up about 6 yards. Not too bad. But those are little wrinkles there. Some playbooks will have play action built on top of that. You'll have to go in that formation to find that out if it does. Then you got one trap. And here's where I really want to get excited about. So you got a bunch of reverses. 8 total. That is a crazy high number. And these are all DIY reverses. If that's your thing, I'm not the best at these. I'm going to go ahead and pick one. We'll go up against like 4, 2, 5 random. So the DIY reverses, like I could have gone to the wide receiver right there. I chose not to. You just got to have to like bump and run into him a little bit. I'm going to try to make it work here. There we go. So I was able to get it to him, but of course he got stuffed behind the line. But he got plenty of reverses if you like them and you're good with them. I can't imagine any of the playbook having more than 8. I mean, just a crazy amount. So between your inside zone, if you want to mix a little power and counter, you could do that, but make sure you do some draws on top of these reverses, again, if you're good at them. So let's go over to option. Not as many options as the runs in general. We got 1 load option. We got 13 read options. That's pretty a normal number for most spread playbooks. There's your 1 speed/load option. Then you got a 1 triple if that's your thing. But again, you don't pick this playbook to run triple. RPOs, we got some in here. We got 8 reads. And as you can tell here, we got some like glance routes, bubbles, screens, your typical things. I'm a big alert out kind of guy. I love that, like the RPO read bubble. I'm a big fan of this setup. It's just an easy read here. I'm just looking at numbers. On the right side, I'm not going to go to the bubble. We don't have the numbers for it. The corner on the left is off of that receiver. I could go to him. And then we got 6 guys in the box and only 5 to block. So it seems pretty easy who to go to here. I'm going to try to go to this guy right here and just pick up whatever yards I can. Either way, that's probably like my favorite type of RPO. It's pure pre-snap. You know exactly kind of who to go to. You got 8 of those. You got 7 peaks. So we got an RPO peak stick. You got some slants. Get used to the word slant. When it comes to this playbook, there's tons of it in here. And as you notice, RPO slants, more slants, things of that nature. And there's that alert out that we looked at earlier. So here's some more RPO alerts. We got 7 of these. We got some shocks, some bubbles, some flanker screens, things of that nature. So you got enough RPOs to wet the whistle. So let's go over to Quick Pass and see what we got going on here. We got 4 Ohios. If you like the go out combo, you got 4 of those. You got 14 slants. So what did I just say? Slants is a big deal in this playbook. 14 is a crazy high number. Now, in most playbooks, you would think if you got that many slant, you should have that many stick. Well, that's not the case. If you go over to stick, you only got 3. You go over to slant, 14. I mean, so this is where your quick game begins and ends pretty much. However, we got actually more spacing than stick, which I think is pretty interesting. So spacing, it's just like a West Coast concept more or less. As you see here, like the one Ohio spacing, you got a little slant hitch, and then you got another little fade hitched, and you got a swing on top of that. Then you got Ohio built on top of that. So I like the combination here. You go over here. Let's see. Looks like they're going man. I'm going to go over here to the out route. Simple stuff right there. But anyway, this is like a half side read. Pretty much you go look on the left side. That's like my man side. The right side, the spacing side. To me, that's for zone-based purposes. So I like those types of concepts. Either way, there's 5 of them. That's actually a pretty high number, in my opinion. And again, you got those 3 stick, but everything pretty much is going to start with slants for you. Let's go over to medium pass. Starting off, we got 6 drives. If you like the dig with the drag underneath it, 5 of those. You go to mesh. So we got 12 of these. This is a really high number for it not being an air raid offense. I really like this. I'm a big mesh guy. This stuff just works really well in this game. You got 17 smash, your high lows, your flags, and your whatnot. And I don't know what happened there. Let me back out really quick. I tell you, this controller is just really weird sometimes. So let me go back at the smash. So anyway, you got plenty of smash, as you could tell, of different varieties, corner and flats, or you got the flag and hitch. You see the smash at a gun trips halfback week, the middle play here. You got both concepts on either side. It just depends on which ones you like. But 17 of them, there's more than enough there. You got 4 choices, just pretty much any play that's got an option route, they're going to dump it here. You got 8 curls, so just pretty much any curl or a hitch, they'll throw it here. Double moves, 6, and this is going to be a wide variety of things. Levels, only one of those. You got 2 pivots, you got a couple of Salems, you got 1 shake, you got 2 shallow crosses, you got 3 slot crosses, you got 9 spots. So spot's like a cousin of spacing, kind of, sort of, and it's also like a cousin of smash. You're just mixing the same handful of routes together, more or less, but 9 to me is a really high number. I'm gonna go ahead and do sprint Z spot, for example. So here we got a backside post with a little zone concept on the other. I'm gonna go, oh, this is picked off. I did not do that one really well at all. Either way, really cool stuff. I'm gonna try to make this look halfway decent. Let's go right here. That's a little bit better. Yeah, a little bit late on the previous throw. Anyway, spot, spacing, I would mix those two together. I think they work really well. Let's go over to Texas. You only got 1 of those. So between out of all the medium passes, mesh is going to be a big one for you, and pretty much some smash. And you got just a little bit of everything else, but not a whole lot. So it just kind of comes down to really what you want to do. But anyway, mesh and smash, I definitely start there. Deep pass, we got a little bit more there. You got 12 comebacks. I'm a big comeback route guy, really good against man. You got 11 flood. This is nowhere near the amount of flood that Oregon has. That Oregon playbook has like 20 plus flood plays if you're a flood guy, but there's more than enough here. You got 3 daggers, you got a 3 divides, 4 double posts, you got 15 verticals, pretty common for most spread playbooks. You got 3 goes, and this go is technically not a popular concept in this game. You don't see the word go hardly at all. A lot of times they'll just dump it in the vertical section, but they actually separated some of these out. I don't know why. They could have easily, like I said, dumped them in verticals. But either way, you even got more going over the top with that. You got meals, 2 of those. You got 4 Portlands. You got plenty of shot play. So play action going over the top. Mix that in with your verticals. Then you got 3 switches. All right, so basically it's all pretty much your comebacks, your verticals, things of that nature. Play action, it says we got 11, but we know better. There's actually a whole lot more in here. But it says we got 3 boots, and we got 8 slides. So if you like that backside tight end coming across, you got more than enough in here, as you can see. And screens. We got 8 bubbles. We've already looked at plenty of these in the RPO section. We got 10 flanker screens. As you see here, some of these are RPO, some of them are not. And we got a couple of wide receiver mid screens. However, if you go up to play type, and you go to pass, and you go to screen pass, we got 17 total screens, and these do not include the RPOs. Mix in those RPOs with these screens, and you have a really nice, healthy screen game. Speaking of more healthy stuff, play action. We got 40. That's a really high number, more than I expected for this playbook. So what was our main run concept? Inside zone. What do you do off of that? Play action. So if you're not a big RPO guy or you want to use them, you can. But inside zone, play action, this is why you have so much of this in here. Okay, let's go over to some runs. We've already looked at these in different ways, but with inside handoff, 35. Again, the bulk of your run game is going to be between the tackles, but you got some outside handoffs too, 15 total, and some of those are those reverses, off tackles, some stretches, more than usual, honestly. Then you got 2 pitches, you got 6 counters, and you got your 10 draws. Again, I highly recommend you sprinkle some of that in if you're going to do any drop back whatsoever. You got 2 fullback runs, and you got 13 QB runs. So this is another really cool thing about this playbook is there's a lot of QB direct stuff. I had somebody ask me, it was a couple weeks ago, which playbooks has the most amount of just QB runs. Texas A&M, Kansas State is really good, but 13 for here I think is excellent. Now, you got to remember, some of this is Wildcat. That's why you notice Wildcat. So this is all a lot of halfback stuff, but they still treat it as, hey, it's QB related. But anyway, a QB blast, if you got a wide or a quarterback that can handle this, definitely throw in some of this stuff right here. I mean, you can go crazy with this. Really cool. Again, use some of that. But again, the main reason why we got so many quote-unquote QB runs is because of all that Wildcat that's in this playbook. All right, let's go to option. Again, you don't pick this playbook to run a ton of option, but it's got your basic stuff, your reads, your loads and speeds, and you go over to RPOs. It says we got 22 of them, but some of these are kind of blended in. You got your reads, you got 9 peaks, and you got 7 alerts. So hopefully this gives you an idea of what Kenny Dillingham likes to do. Go watch them play. They got a bye in the playoff. I think they're playing the winner of it. Is it like Texas and Clemson? It's been a while since I've looked at the playoff bracket. Anyway, they're doing something right, and I think this playbook probably reflects what they like to do pretty well, and I think you'll enjoy it if you're a spread guy. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.